Fear makes companions of all of us in the end. But what if the end is just around the corner? Following. Slowly. We can't outrun fear. We can't win a battle against fear. We can't fight, only freeze. We can't control our fears, they just follow us. They never stop, and in this case, they never stop whispering. Mia is 21. She has a relatively normal life, a job in a pizza restaurant, and overly controlling parents who never stop nagging her to get a better job. She has ambitions, her fair share of failures, and she doesn't think of herself as important, but neither does she think of herself as useless. She's just your average human being with a normal life. Until it wasn't, of course. If it was always normal, then why would you be listening to this? The whisper men are near. If you hear the whisper men, then turn away your ear. Do not hear the whisper men, whatever else you do. For once you've heard the whisper men, they'll stop and look at you. A whisper in the dark fast becomes a scream, shaking your entire body, waking you from a dream. When Matt Burgett wrote that poem, he too listened to the whispers. But whatever you do, don't listen to the whispers. Your life depends upon it. Doctor Who, A Whisper in the Dark, written by the audios of Rassilon, read by Tom Christison. Her mum showed it up frequently, asking her to wake up, but Mia decided, why not stay asleep? Just today, eh? It's a Sunday after all. Her work asks her to work on a Sunday, and why would she? Nothing great happens on a Sunday. On a Saturday, that's when she will get a new job, or at least, she wants to. For now, it's a Sunday, and Sundays are dull. But her mum didn't stop asking. She feels her heart as it begins to get faster, and hears her heartbeat, like a samba. Then she goes back to sleep. Mia, please wake up! Her mum shouted. Mia then angrily shouts back and wakes up. She gets dressed and looks in the mirror. For a second, a figure appears behind her. But she just believes she got up too fast. Her TV turns on, and a doctor appears in his white outfit with a device, but then the screen turns off. This doctor haunts her nightmares. All day and all night. He's either holding a thermometer or a weird device. Mia knows she can't stop the nightmares. They are always there. The whispers are all in my head, they said. Why do they never stop? Why are they always there? I try to have a normal life, I really do. But how can I when the whispers follow me? They never stop, and never will I know a life without them. I can try again and again. I could get a better job, and they would still be there. My parents can even shout at me to get a better job, but how can I when the economy is crashing? Who would hire an insane girl with the voices in her head? And why am I talking to myself in a mirror? I can't tell anyone. I won't tell anyone. They're just my imagination. She puts the mirror back on her bed and looks around the room. The sky is a dark grey, and it's darker every day. She walks down the stairs and is greeted by her parents, who look at her and go back to their toast. She thinks to herself that they are ignorant and they don't care about her. Then she starts to think that if they don't care, then why do they bother about her job? Why does she care about what they think or do, or even say? She remembers a time in which they meant the world to her. The memories are somewhat hazy, but she remembers going to Trafalgar Square with her dad and they ate chips. Mia looked around the room, her dad's teeth pointy yellow, while her mum's eyes were non-existent. This isn't real. It can't be real. She turned around and then looked to her parents, who were staring at her. The whispers got louder, and then everything returned to normal. Well, as normal as it gets. She thought she had a normal life. She works in a pizza place, and his parents would keep on nagging. She had a plan set in place, and everything just seemed normal. But then came the whispers, and they never ever stopped. Mia walked out the door, but her parents paid her no notice. She passed completely random strangers, who began talking on their phones. "Don't worry, Mia. We will get you out of there," one of them says. Another states into his phone that it's all a matter of time. But these people got blocked out by the whispers in Mia's head, and then she continues to walk with confusion. She walks into Alfredo's Pizza Plaza and puts on her chef's uniform. She goes into the kitchen and begins to cook a pizza. She looks around to see a man she had never seen before. "Hello, my name's John Smith. I'm new chef, just started today." He looked familiar to Mia, but then she just got on with her job. She then asked him what happened to the original chef. "Oh, they won the lottery." And then she thought that was weird, because that chef never took part in the lottery, but it didn't plague her mind too much. Then saw the man twirling a pizza, then performing a handstand with it still somehow in the air. But she didn't ask questions. Asking questions got her fired from her last job, because apparently asking for a raise is a bad thing. The mysterious new chef got up and passed the pizza to a customer. Mia then succumbed to the temptation and asked him where he learnt to do that. He replied, "Tony Gamaganani," which then led her to the conclusion that he was lying, but she got on with her day. This man was an enigma to her. She just didn't understand him, his movements and just the way he spoke with such power and wisdom. She didn't seem right for a man working in a pizza place. After work she walked home. On her way home, she began to get sidetracked by everything. Her mind felt like an unfinished puzzle. Pieces were missing and didn't fit anymore. She's worried because of how forgetful she's been as of recent. She's not only hearing the whispers, but voices more distinct than that on the radio. Either way, she's adapted and still plans to live a normal life. The thing about life is that it's unpredictable. She gets back to home, she goes to sleep, but then her TV turns on. She instantly wakes up and looks at it. "Hello? Is this Mia? Are you there?" Mia responded to the TV, thinking she must be insane, imagining the new pizza chef on the TV. "Mia, I need you to listen to me. And I don't just mean ignore everything and say and go back to sleep. I mean actually listen, because your life depends on it." Mia looked away, then looked back, having a double take. The whispers are still there at the back of her mind, but her mind is also prioritizing the doctor's voice. "The whisper men are near. If you hear the whisper men, turn away your ear. Do not hear the whisper men, whatever else you do. For once you've heard the whisper men, they'll stop and look at you." She shuddered and ran out the door in a panic. A whisperman stands there, and she actually runs through it, and after doing so, she runs into a mysterious corridor in what looked like a Victorian house. "The whisper men are near. If you hear the whisper men, then turn away your ear. Do not hear the whisper men, whatever else you do. For once you've heard the whisper men, they'll stop and look at you." The walls are moving towards her. She's trying to get out. Nothing feels safe and nothing feels right, yet she knows that this must be real. The whisper men are near. She continues to run and run, but she's running in circles. She sees on the ceiling at the end of the corridor. She sees herself with the pizza chef, but this time he's in a long coat. Then she gets pulled back by a force and back into her bedroom. "If you hear the whisper men, then turn away your ear." She's back into bed in a panic, and can still hear the doctor speaking alongside the whispers in her ear. "Do not hear the whisper men, whatever else you do. For once you've heard the whisper men, they'll stop and look at you. But for you, it's too late." She gets up and looks around the room to see whisper men, but the doctor grabs her hand. "I'm the doctor. I'm an alien from planet Gallifrey, and if you don't follow me, you'll die. Got that? I snuck through your door and now I'm here to save you. I told you not to listen to the whispers, but it appears as if I'm too late." They get under the bed and into a secret compartment and land in tunnels. These weren't in here, she thought as she followed the doctor towards a door. They through the door and are back into the Victorian house where she found herself earlier. She spots a shadow that looks somewhat like her from earlier and continues to follow the doctor. Whisper men follow silently behind them with faint whispers. Mia asks the doctor to explain what they are doing and why they are after her. "Well, Mia, it's difficult to explain. Just what that thing is. All I know is that it was created by the Great Intelligence, and it sounded killing me, anyone that set their eyes onto it. Mia thought, oh, that's why it's after me. Me and the doctor dashed down the corridor, and the Whispermen followed slowly, quietly, whispering as they followed. Luckily though, Mia, I have this thing that goes ding, and it kind of sends it into the vortex of where it will disperse and fade away. They go further into the corridor, and are blocked off by a wall. Mia, I hate to say it, but there isn't a door here. Mia looked panicked. She could hear her heart racing. The Whispermen walked through a wall in front of them. They moved backwards. Any plans? Mia asked as they reverse as fast as they can. Run! The doctor grabs her hand and they run down the corridor at great speed until another Whisperman walks through the wall, followed by another and another. I thought there was only one, but there appears to be several. Just keep close to me and we'll get out of this. Allons-y! The doctor and the Whisperman fade away. The room turns into her bedroom and she wakes up. It can't be just a dream, she asked herself. But the whispering was still there, and louder. The world around her spun, and she looked around to see a Whisperman surrounding her bed. They go to grab her. The doctor grabs her hand, flung her off the bed and into the void. The doctor turns into a Whisperman, and she lets go. She falls down a corridor, and is now on the ceiling. She then wakes up in the doctor's arms, and she can still hear the whispers that never stop. The world is still slightly spinning, revolving around her. It slows down, and she gets out of the doctor's arms. He drops her, and she lands on the ceiling. Well, Mia, you see, the Whispermen are all the intelligence. They are linked, so with this device, all I have to do is break the link and BAM! Whispermen gone. But at the same time, that is difficult when you can't find the link that is keeping me here. She falls back onto the floor and can sense herself following the doctor, but her body isn't. She feels cold. Colder than she's ever felt before. She can't feel her hands, but her head feels as if it's on fire. Then, she all feels like she's on fire. The good doctor keeps on talking to what she sees as nothing, but she senses that she is there. The doctor's voice turns into whispers until he fades away into the corridor. A mirror appears. She looks into it and sees the doctor, who slowly turns into a monster-like figure. She can move again, and she runs down the corridor. She then bumps into the doctor like a cannonball, knocking him into the wall. Ah! Could you please be more careful? She apologizes and runs off. Mia! The doctor shouts as he runs down the corridor. Mia stops in her tracks. She is surrounded by Whispermen. But then she isn't. The doctor grabs her hand. They both run down the corridor as tons of Whispermen chase them. Mia begins to choke, and she can feel dirt on her hands. She stops and turns to the doctor. He can't hear her. Her heartbeat increases, but she can't hear anything, yet she sees the doctor shouting. Nothing but the whispers. That's all she can hear. I'm dreaming, aren't I? She asked herself. But everything felt so real. You don't really feel as if you're dreaming when you're having a dream, do you? She's been trying to wake up for what seems like hours, but it just doesn't feel like a dream. Has someone spiked her drink? No. She looks out the window, and the whispers get louder. There's nothing but snow, but it's going up. One of the whisper appears on the other side of the window, almost mimicking Mia's movements. The doctor holds her shoulder and looks into the window. She can hear her heartbeat again, and the whispers are getting louder once again. I think I figured it out, Mia, the doctor says. You are the link. You are the way that the Whispermen are going to survive. They're going to use you as the new link. I don't know what the Great Intelligence is up to. What if it's even them? But they're up to something. Mia responds with a frightened look as she walks away. She doesn't believe the doctor, and she doesn't think he does either. She looks around and punches a hole in the wall. The entire wall falls over to reveal an empty limbo. She walks into the limbo, the doctor follows. I can't help you, Mia. I'm so sorry, he said. Why not? She questioned hastily with a frown. Can't you get me out of here? Why can't you just wander off and leave me here? Because you aren't here. And well, you are, but as I said, you aren't. Your last mental energy has created this house. Kind of. He replied. But what does that mean in English? She said angrily, looking at him with a confused frown. Well, how can I explain it? Do you remember when you were 6? and you saw me fighting a man that looked like he was wearing a mask with a sword in the middle of Trafalgar Square. He questioned her, a compassionate, wise glare, almost as if he was preparing her for something with his eyes alone. How can anyone possibly remember something as random as that? I was 6. She looked at him closely. Well, you did remember it, because I wouldn't be in here if you didn't. There's a reason you don't remember it now. It's because you can't remember anything anymore. You're hallucinating, Leah. Well, dreaming. Well, actually it's worse. That whisperman set his eyes on you, and when you were 20, he found you. You've been in a coma, and I can't save you. I'm not even here, and you aren't even talking. You're just whispering, and nobody can hear you. The whispers you've been hearing were you talking, and only I could hear because I am in your head. I'm so sorry. Goodbye, Mia. Mia fell to the floor in confusion and anger as the whispers in her ear got louder. They're still there, still following her. Her heartbeat got louder as the doctor vanished. The house vanished. She found herself in a void. Nothing surrounds her. The whispers in her head louder than ever before. Her heart feels like it's exploding. Her heart breaking, beating faster and faster, slower and slower, until one whisper remains. A whisper in the dark fast becomes a scream, shaking your entire body and waking you from a dream. And with a peek outside, it feels what you fear, scare you so badly, even jerking out a tear. Then as a monstrous shadow dashes by your window, your heart beats up as you see it's in the snow. But when the light turns on, the image you see sends a spark. The shadows are all gone. It was just a whisper in the dark. The whisper men are near. You have heard the whisper men.